Now, over the weekend, Anne turned 37, and she tendered apologies to a group of people who were involved in everything that happened over the past few weeks regarding the family affair that was going on, where she said that Two-Face had gone outside of the country to meet Peru, and whatever happened there. However, the instance that concerns me here is the fact that Peru is suing for 500 million naira. Now, I don't know the relationship between Peru and... Yes, and there must be a public apology. Do note that Anne did not tender an apology to her, however. But 500 million to the father of, because practically you're suing Two-Face, the father of your children. I don't know how reasonable
she's suing
that
Anne.
is. Where is Anne going to get 500 million from if not from Two-Face?
What do you mean? Why are you like this?
But it's a fact.
You know, apology. She apologized to brands. Do you know how much those brands are paying her? How would you literally just...
You just said... Look, it is not here.
It's true now. But it's true.
I get what you're saying, of course, definitely. Even if it's not only her, it's both. It's
going to affect
eventually, it will affect him, and that's why he's saying that. And you know, incidentally, when she made the apology, this news about the suing just came out on her birthday. Of course, it probably happened before.
So I mentioned that earlier, that, okay, fine, okay, why did the suing come at that time? And you actually said that maybe the news of the suing came at that time. However, I mean, the world we're living in right now, it's possible that she just quickly ran something. Just to jump on that.
Just to jump on that. Very
because
true.
We have the president of the Baby Mama Association, Madam Kemi,
self-acclaimed, who made her the president.
Our investigative journalist. She said that she spoke about how she's embarrassed by Peru's actions and all of that. And she did state that she's literally, she thinks Peru is actually doing all this for clouds and all of that she should let them be and stop meddling in things that don't concern her. She went on bashing her about how Two-Face will never be a husband, things like that. And I'm like, all right.
Well, she claims, and by the way, I do think that this was way ahead of Annie's birthday, that this had been happening because she was served papers. So this means it must have been something that was already in the works from before. She even tendered apologies to other people. But my question, like from the beginning, is the fact that I don't know how loving, and I use quotes, air quotes there, this is when you tender such a suit to practically the husband of your kids. I don't know what the relationship is going to be. By the way, Two-Face also put out an Instagram post where it was a bit cryptic. He said whether you like it or... Well, I can't remember exactly how it went, but something about that whether we're together or not, I'm still going to live my life or so.
So who do you think that was directed to?
Exactly. Who was it directed to? Is he saying that he's perhaps maybe considering leaving? And
no, because the first post I saw after the apology was nobody wholly pass.
Yes.
I saw that one. So I obviously thought that, I mean, Two-Face being the kind of person that, I don't know, he is, I mean, he understands that there's room for error and stuff like that. So I actually thought that they'll be fine. I just feel it's just one of those things that happens, I mean, in relationships. But then again, that's the issue. Their marital status is on one side, and then we now have the issue of the baby mama on the other side. But why is Peru always the one in the...
You see, and well, you know, something about her apology. She mentioned that she was suicidal. At one point, and I felt for her because it's more or less like at that point she had to let it out. And I don't have any problem because at times that might be the saving grace. Look, we always talk about how people, if they are going through such issues, how they don't talk. You understand? So letting it out, and of course letting it out has affected the family in some sort of way. And I think that's where the major apology is. Look, if this was internal, you probably might not get such an apology, but because of
the way
came out
to
the public space. And that's why she had to put out that apology, which of course for me is mature of her. Then she mentioned about how, look, so for it to go that far, I'm wondering how serious it might have been. Because look, she knew what she was going into. So she already had some sort of mental strength, even before going into the marriage or anything to do with Two-Face. But for it to get to this extent, then that means that a lot must have gone on behind the scenes.
Definitely, I actually concur. And also the fact that, I don't know, as much as you say, okay, fine, she knew, a lot of people will say, yes, didn't she know what she was going into before she decided to go on, right? I mean, what also happens is that she went into that situation, knowing what happened. But the truth is, you never know how troublesome people can be unless you're in that situation.
We don't know.
Do you understand? So I feel the outburst came from a well that soon started overflowing.
I want to bring it home. How would you feel if your brother-in-law, you're not married yet, but just hypothetical here, was to sue your, or rather, if your brother was to sue your husband? You get it now.
My brother was to sue my husband.
If your brother was to sue your husband, because my point is it's going to hurt you. So in this case, how does Two-Face feel exactly seeing his baby mama and his wife in such a feud that will involve him financially? Because he's the one that's going to bring out that 500 million if
it goes through.
If it goes through, exactly.
Man, this is one of the things where at one point, there was a point in his life where he said he wished he didn't have so many baby mamas. I think at one point he mentioned that. And these are the kind of things, look, you can't control everything. And this is just one instance of how things could go awry when it's in such a situation.
Yeah, true.